I need to have a script. Don't use scripts. I'm not using a script. That's why I use scripts. I shouldn't need a script. Hey there, Percy Jules here. I was just editing a video I just recorded yesterday, but I just thought I wanted to do a little video in between. And this is actually a first. So what am I talking about? Well, I just pressed record on my camera and now I'm talking to you, or at least I'm talking to a camera, and I'm doing so pretty spontaneously. I mean, I have a basic idea of what I want to talk about, but I'm not using a script. I've done quite a few videos and posted them on the internet. Especially, I have another channel, which is a music channel. I mean, it's about music and music production. I'm doing a lot of tutorial videos, among other things. And especially when I'm doing those tutorial videos, I need to have a script. Maybe that's just me, but I just need to have a script. Why? Because a script keeps you on point, it keeps you organized, it keeps you structured, it will lower the risk of making mistakes, because you're trying to get some information across, you're trying to teach something to someone. And so you don't want there to be any mistakes, or as little as possible. So that's a very good use for scripts. That's why I use scripts. But whenever I'm doing other videos, I'm still using scripts. And I just feel that it shouldn't have to be like that. So I'm just trying to move away from, always, reaching for a script, creating a script and then making a video. I just want to make some videos spontaneously. And why do I want to do that? Well, because using a script is very time consuming, for one thing. That's probably my biggest reason why I want to move away from this. I mean, I'm still gonna use scripts for those tutorial videos and some other videos as well. But videos like this, when I'm just talking about something like this, I shouldn't need a script, should I? I mean, I know I do have one handicap. Well, I probably have several, but one of the handicaps is, as you probably might have been able to hear, I'm not a native English speaker. So English is not my first language. And that makes it a little bit difficult for me, a little bit more difficult for me to do things like this, because I'm still doing some translation in my head and my vocabulary is still not as big as my first language, which is Dutch, by the way. So it's a little bit more difficult, and that is a handicap. However, I feel that my English is good enough to have a normal conversation, I believe. And if that is true, and I believe it is, then I should be able to do this. And I believe, we're shooting this video now for 4 minutes or so, I don't know. And I'm actually proving to myself that I can do this. So that is why I want to do this, because it just takes up a lot of time. Because if you're making a script, you have to first make the script. You have to think of every word, every sentence, you have to structure it, and it's just 1,000 times more difficult, 1,000 times more time consuming than just shooting it like this. You could compare it to something like, like walking, for instance. I mean, if I wanted to walk from here to there, I just get up and I walk to there without thinking about it. It's very natural. Do you know how much thought has to go into it if you would think of every little detail of going from here to there? I mean, nowadays there are some robots that actually walk kind of like humans do. You know how much thought has gone into that? How much science? I don't either, but it has to be a lot, because you have to think about, okay, if I lift up the left leg, then, you have to tilt the entire body a little bit to the right. You have to think about center of gravity. How far do you want that left leg to go ahead? And, you have to tilt back, and, you have to think about every little detail. And that's a million times more difficult than just getting up and just walk into there, and this might be a little bit of a strange analogy, but I hope you know what I mean. A script is kind of like that, as opposed to just pressing record and just start talking about a basic idea you have in your head, because we humans have the ability to just do that, to form the structure real time, and continue on with your story in real time. We have the ability to do that. But if you're going to use a script, you have to figure out everything in advance, and that's that's infinitely more difficult, so that's why it takes a lot of time. And also recording the video also takes up a lot of time. This video here is probably going to be a, I don't know, 7, 8, 9 minutes video. It took me 2.5 hours to record because, I had to follow the script, and when I do something, when I make a mistake, I have to go back and I have to go back again. I'm also a very big perfectionist. That doesn't help. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is using a script is just very time consuming. That's probably the biggest reason why I want to get rid of scripts for some of my videos I do. Because I want to do a lot more videos. And if I would use a script for every video I do, it just would be impossible to do. So that's the biggest reason. Another reason is that when you're not using a script, you're probably going to come off a lot more natural than you would if you are using a script. Some people are very good actors and can still come off quite very natural when using a script, but some of us are not, and anyway, for anyone, you're going to be more natural without a script, So those are some reasons why you wouldn't want to use a script. I already mentioned why you would want to use a script. It keeps you organized, it keeps you structured. So those are the two things you have to weigh against each other. There's also, of course, an in-between solution, and that is not to use an entire script, but just write down some bullet points, some basic keywords that you can use to structure your video with. So, to the question, should you use a script or not? I believe it depends on the type of video you're doing. It also depends on probably your personality, or what it is you feel comfortable with anyway. So if you feel more comfortable using scripts, you probably should do that. If you feel more comfortable not using scripts, don't use scripts. So that's my thought on this issue. So think about it if you want to. Anyway, this has been my experiment, and I think I kind of succeeded. I've shot this video and I didn't use a single script. Thank you for watching, and I will talk to you soon.